Arrest is made in connection with the disappearance of Kada Scott, and right now, police say they have found a car they believe belonged to the suspect. And Skyfox over that scene right now in the 4000 block of Gypsy Lane in Manayunk. Police say Kada Scott was last seen back on October 4th, and they say that a man, 21-year-old Keon King, is the one of the last people to be in communication with her. Police giving an update today on the search.
I'm sorry, you may have said this, but what is the connection to Scott?
I'm not going to discuss that right now.
Thank you very much.
If you thought the Kada Scott case couldn't get any darker, buckle up. Because what investigators found this week just flipped the whole story on its head. A debit card, a pile of clothes, and a chilling trail leading straight to a school that was supposed to be abandoned for years. And right after that discovery, a new suspect was taken into custody, someone no one ever expected to see in handcuffs. The streets are whispering that this wasn't just a random crime. It was calculated, personal, and possibly covered up from day one. Sources close to the investigation claim the suspect wasn't some stranger off the block. It was someone Kada knew. Someone who'd been smiling in pictures with her. Someone who swore they were helping to find her, when in reality, they might have been hiding the truth. Fans online are calling it the biggest twist since the case began. Reddit threads are exploding, TikTok detectives are pulling up old footage, and everybody's trying to figure out what really happened inside that school. Why were Kada's belongings found there?
Who planted them?
And most importantly, if the wrong person's been arrested, then where's the real killer? This story just went from tragic to terrifying. And tonight, we're breaking down every clue, every betrayal, and every shocking twist that's tearing the internet apart. When the news broke that Kada Scott's debit card and clothes were discovered behind the old Philadelphia Learning Academy, the internet froze. This wasn't just another update. This was the twist everyone feared but secretly expected. Because from the moment her body was found, something about this case never sat right. The timelines didn't match, the stories kept changing, and the people closest to her suddenly went silent. It started with a tip. An anonymous call placed early Monday morning to the Philadelphia PD's missing persons line. The voice on the other end said, "Check the school. She left something behind." That was it. No name, no details. Just a cold, shaken voice and a hang-up. But when detectives followed the lead, they found more than anyone was ready for. Behind the school's crumbling gymnasium wall, wrapped in a plastic grocery bag, lay a blood-stained hoodie, a debit card, and a small gold chain engraved with the letter K. The same chain Kada's mom said she never took off, not even to shower. Within hours, crime scene tape covered the area. Helicopters hovered over the block. News trucks lined the street. And just like that, the quiet little schoolyard became the new epicenter of one of Philadelphia's most disturbing murder mysteries. What made it worse? That debit card wasn't just any card. It had been used after Kada's death. According to leaked police reports, a $43.17 transaction was made at a gas station 2 days after she disappeared. Surveillance footage allegedly showed a male figure, face covered, pulling up in a gray sedan and swiping the card. But the timestamp didn't lie. It was after Kada had already been reported missing. Fans on TikTok went wild. Somebody used her card after she was gone. One viral clip said, racking up over 4 million views in a single night. People started speculating that this wasn't a random killing, it was staged. A setup. Whoever did it, one Reddit thread read, wanted to make sure they left just enough behind to confuse the timeline. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody saw coming. When investigators traced that card transaction, the name linked to the gray sedan was chillingly familiar. Keon King, the same man already facing charges in connection to Kada's death. The streets instantly exploded. How could the suspect already in custody be connected to new evidence discovered weeks later? That's when a second layer of the story started unfolding. Sources close to the investigation claimed that the bag of evidence found behind the school wasn't there before. Officers who had previously searched the area swore they'd combed every inch of that property weeks ago. Nothing was found then, which means someone returned to the scene recently and planted those items.
But why?
Some believe it was meant to frame someone else. Others say it was meant to protect the real killer, to throw police off the scent. Kada's family didn't buy the coincidence for a second. Her mother broke down in tears outside the school gates. "I know my baby," she said between sobs. "She would never end up here. Somebody put her here to be found like this. Somebody wanted to make sure we never get peace." The emotion in her voice was raw, shaking the reporters who tried to comfort her. Behind her, family members whispered theories. Some pointed at Kian, others pointed at someone even closer. That's when the first big rumor dropped, that Kada's boyfriend, the same man who gave that viral interview weeks earlier, had secretly been questioned again. Leaked texts suggested police wanted to re-interview him after a witness claimed they saw a car matching his parked near that same school 2 days before the evidence was found. But what made fans' jaws drop wasn't that detail. It was that the witness said he wasn't alone. He was with a woman, the statement read. Looked scared. They were arguing. She said, "This is going too far." Within hours, #WhoWasWithHim started trending across social media. YouTube commentators jumped on it instantly. One popular blogger said, "If the boyfriend was there, this means there's a second suspect walking free." And that's when Philadelphia police made their move. Late that night, around 11:47 p.m., footage surfaced showing officers escorting a young woman in handcuffs out of an apartment building in North Philly. She was crying, wearing a gray hoodie pulled over her face, as flashes from camera phones lit up the parking lot. The caption read, "Second suspect arrested in connection with Kada Scott case." Her name? Brielle Mason. That name hit like lightning. Brielle wasn't some random neighbor or stranger. She was Kada's best friend since middle school. Pictures surfaced of them laughing together at parties, matching outfits, even side-by-side TikToks filmed just months before Kada disappeared. The betrayal was unthinkable. When fans pieced it together, the internet erupted. "No way her best friend did her like that," one comment read. Another said, "This whole case turning into a Lifetime movie." Police confirmed that Brielle had been brought in for questioning in relation to new evidence discovered at the Philadelphia Learning Academy site. They didn't say she was the killer, but the rumors spread faster than fact. And just like that, the story went from a murder investigation to a full-blown betrayal saga. But things got even darker once the interrogation footage leaked. In the video, which lasted just under 10 minutes before being removed from social media, Brielle sits across from two detectives, head down, eyes red from crying. She whispers, "I didn't kill her, but I was there." That one sentence shook the entire case. If she was there, why hadn't she come forward sooner? What was she hiding? One of the detectives leans in and says, "Then tell us what really happened that night." Brielle hesitates, looks up at the camera, and says something that chills everyone watching. She wasn't supposed to die. It was just supposed to scare her. At that exact moment, the video cuts out. Fans who saw the clip before it was deleted swore they heard her say something about money missing and a setup gone wrong. Conspiracy channels went wild, claiming this wasn't a crime of passion but a debt collection gone sideways. What if Kada found out something she wasn't supposed to? One viral video suggested. What if she was blackmailing someone? And then, another twist. During Brielle's questioning, detectives revealed that Kada's debit card had been used not just once, but 3 times after her death. The other 2 transactions were small, fast food and gas, but the locations matched Brielle's phone GPS from that same week. Fans couldn't believe it. The woman the world thought was grieving might have been spending the victim's money. But the story wasn't finished unraveling yet. When Brielle's attorney finally released a statement, it threw everything into chaos again. "My client is cooperating fully," the lawyer said. She maintains that she was manipulated by someone who has not yet been named publicly. "We will be presenting evidence that proves she was set up." That one line, manipulated by someone who has not yet been named, sent shockwaves online.
Who could that be?
Was she talking about the boyfriend? Someone from Kada's family? A friend they both knew? The mystery deepened even more when reporters discovered that Brielle had been receiving cash deposits from an unknown account the same week Kada went missing. Over $2,000 sent in small increments, all labeled simply as "thank you." When asked about it, Brielle said, "That's not what you think." But she never explained what it really was. By the next morning, the entire city was talking about Brielle Mason's arrest. Philadelphia wasn't sleeping. News vans lined the streets outside police headquarters. Bloggers live-streamed from the parking lot, and thousands tuned in hoping for one thing: answers. But instead of clarity, what they got was another explosion of confusion. Inside the interrogation room, things were heating up. Sources from within the department claimed Brielle wasn't as calm as the first clip made her seem. Apparently, after the cameras were turned off, she broke down completely, shouting that she was being framed and that someone wanted Kada gone before she could talk. Talk about what? That's the question everyone started asking. By noon, a reporter from the Philadelphia Ledger released an exclusive article titled "New Lead." Was Kada Scott about to expose someone? The piece cited multiple unnamed sources claiming that Kada had information about a money laundering scheme involving a few well-known figures, including a local nightclub owner, a rapper from the area, and a female friend who worked closely with her. That female friend? Everyone assumed it was Brielle. The theory was simple but sinister. Kada found out about something illegal, maybe through her boyfriend or through people close to him, and tried to confront it. Instead of helping her, those around her decided to make her disappear. And the clues lined up disturbingly well. The debit card transactions, the missing clothes, the burned phone records, all of it painted a picture of a setup so detailed it couldn't have been random. Someone planned this, one detective told a local station. And whoever it was, knew how to make it look messy enough to confuse us. That night, new surveillance footage leaked. The timestamp was from 3 days before Kada went missing. The footage showed a gray sedan, the same car connected to the debit card, parked behind a small diner near the school. 2 people sat inside for nearly 40 minutes. The driver's face wasn't visible, but the passenger looked exactly like Kada. People online started connecting the dots again. "That's her," one user commented. "She was alive days before they said she was gone." If that was true, it meant the official timeline, the one police released, was completely wrong. But that wasn't the only problem. In that same clip, a second car appears. A black SUV pulls up behind the sedan, headlights off. After a few minutes, the SUV drives off, but one frame, enhanced later by a YouTube investigator, shows a face in the passenger seat. And it wasn't Brielle. It was Kada's boyfriend. Now, everything flipped again. Up until that point, the boyfriend had played the grieving role perfectly, crying during interviews, posting old pictures of them with long captions like, "I'll never stop fighting for you." But after that video dropped, fans started calling him out. His posts went private, his comment sections flooded with, "We know what you did," and "Where were you that night?" He disappeared offline within hours. And when reporters reached out for comment, his attorney replied with a simple statement: "My client maintains his innocence and will not be discussing this matter publicly." Translation? He was scared. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, detectives began piecing together a new narrative, one that would shock everyone who'd been following the case from day one. They found text messages between Kada and Brielle from the night she disappeared. Messages that had somehow been missed during the initial phone dump. In those texts, Kada wrote something cryptic. "If anything happens to me, don't believe what they say. You know who's behind it." To which Brielle replied, "Stop saying stuff like that. You're scaring me." That exchange was timestamped just 2 hours before Kada's phone last pinged. Police believe those texts were the smoking gun, proof that Kada feared for her safety and possibly knew her killer. But who was they? Who was behind it? As the pressure mounted, Brielle's lawyer requested a closed-door meeting with investigators. For 4 hours, they talked privately, no cameras, no media, no leaks. But when Brielle left the room, something in her face had changed. She wasn't crying anymore. She looked relieved. Minutes later, police escorted her out of custody, without handcuffs. The entire internet went into meltdown. "What do you mean she's free?" one headline screamed. "Brielle walks," another said. But the explanation was even crazier than the rumor mill. Brielle had allegedly given police new evidence that led to the arrest of someone else entirely. That evening, around 8:30 p.m., a SWAT team swarmed a small duplex in Germantown. Neighbors said they heard loud bangs and shouting before seeing a man dragged out in handcuffs, wearing a white t-shirt and slippers. The man? Marcus Tone Rivers, a 27-year-old club promoter and part-time music manager, the same guy rumored to be in business with Kada's boyfriend. When his mugshot hit the internet, fans lost it. Tone wasn't some stranger. He'd been tagged in photos with Kada before at events, parties, even cookouts. In one clip, filmed weeks before her death, he can be heard laughing in the background as Kada dances. Police now believe Tone had played a central role in what they were calling a coordinated cover-up. Sources told reporters that Brielle had handed over voice recordings of Tone threatening Kada over money owed. One clip reportedly captured him saying, "You better chill before people start finding out how you really get your money." That's when the story took another turn. This wasn't just about friendship, loyalty, or betrayal anymore. This was about money, control, and blackmail. Detectives pieced together that Kada may have discovered illegal financial activity linked to Tone's promotions, laundering through club events and merch sales. When she threatened to expose it, they planned to scare her quiet. But something went wrong that night, and Kada never came home. According to one insider, Brielle had gone with Tone that night thinking they were just going to confront Kada, not hurt her. Brielle didn't know it would go that far, the source said. She froze when it happened. Afterward, Tone told her to stay quiet or she'd be next. The public didn't know whether to believe her or not. Some said she was lying to save herself. Others said she was a victim too. But the final twist when police announced they had recovered a second debit card in Tone's possession, one belonging to Kada, but from a separate bank account her family didn't even know existed. This raised a terrifying question. What if Tone had been controlling more of Kada's life than anyone realized? Friends came forward saying Kada had become distant in her final weeks, constantly anxious, and even mentioned feeling watched. One old classmate said, "She told me she was done with certain people, that she was ready to disappear if she had to." Then, just 3 days before her death, Kada sent her mom a text that now haunts her family. "Don't worry if I go quiet for a few days. I'm handling something." Nobody knew those would be her last words. With Tone now in custody and Brielle walking free under witness protection, it felt like the case had reached its climax. But those who'd been following from day one knew better. Something still didn't add up. If Tone was the mastermind, why would he keep Kada's debit card and clothes instead of destroying them? Why plant them at a school weeks later? And who made that anonymous call leading police there in the first place? That question, who called, hung in the air like smoke. Some believed it was Brielle trying to clear her conscience. Others whispered it was someone from Tone's own crew, scared the truth was closing in. But the wildest theory yet came from a reporter who had been covering the case since day one. She claimed the call came from inside the department. "A cop tipped them off," she said on live TV. "Somebody wanted this case reopened, no matter what it exposed." And if that was true, it meant the rot went deeper than anyone expected. By the time the sun rose over Philadelphia the next day, the city wasn't waking up, it was holding its breath. The Kada Scott case had gone from a tragedy to a full-blown conspiracy, and what happened next would shock even the most loyal followers of the story. Tone was behind bars, Brielle was free under protection, and reporters were camping outside police headquarters like it was the Grammys. But what nobody knew yet, what not even the detectives expected, was that the most explosive twist hadn't even dropped. At around 9:15 a.m., investigators executed a new search warrant. This time, not for a person, but for Tone's phone. What they found inside flipped everything again. Hidden in his iCloud backup were video files, short, shaky clips recorded the night Kada disappeared. The first clip showed the inside of a car. You can hear a woman's voice. It's Kada. She's saying something like, "I just want my stuff back. That's all. I don't want no drama." In the background, another voice, male, mutters something angry and unintelligible. Then the screen goes black. The second clip was only 4 seconds long, just the sound of tires screeching and someone yelling, "Turn that off." Police confirmed the videos were time-stamped on the night Kada was last seen alive. That revelation hit the internet like a grenade. Within minutes, Hashtags like hashtag justice for Kada, hashtag tone exposed, and hashtag the final video were trending nationwide. But while the world watched those clips on repeat, trying to decode every second, detectives were already chasing another lead, a voice in the background of the first clip that didn't belong to either Kada or Tone. When they isolated the audio and enhanced it, they heard a woman saying softly, "This isn't what we agreed on." That voice matched Brielle. And just like that, the narrative shattered again. Was Brielle really innocent? Or had she cut a deal to save herself? Fans were split right down the middle. Some said she was manipulated and terrified. Others believed she'd been part of the setup from the start. But then another twist, one nobody saw coming, hit the scene. During Tone's second interrogation, he finally cracked. The swagger, the smirk, the fake confidence gone. He leaned back, rubbed his eyes, and said the words that stunned everyone in the room. "I didn't kill her. I was paid to move her." Detectives froze.
Paid?
By who? He went on to say that someone close to Kada's circle had offered him money to scare her out of town after she threatened to expose certain people. According to Tone, he never meant to hurt her. The plan was to confront her, take her phone, and make her disappear for a while. But something went wrong. The details were blurry. He claimed she panicked, ran, hit her head, and everything spiraled. But the most haunting part? He refused to name the person who paid him. "They're powerful," he said quietly, "and they're still out there." That one statement sent shockwaves through Philadelphia's elite scene. Who was he protecting? Who had enough money and influence to pull strings like that? Reporters started connecting dots that led to an unexpected name, a local business investor who had funded Tone's club events and had briefly employed Kada through a promotional contract. The man's name was Samuel Trent, a polished entrepreneur known for throwing flashy parties and sponsoring rappers. He denied everything, of course, but within 24 hours, FBI agents were seen entering one of his offices. And suddenly, this wasn't just a Philadelphia police case anymore. It was federal. That night, Brielle was called back in for questioning. Cameras caught her walking in with her lawyer, her face pale, hands trembling. Insiders say she was shown the new video evidence and broke down instantly. Through tears, she admitted she knew about the confrontation plan but was told it was only about getting something back, supposedly a flash drive containing compromising information about Trent's business dealings. But when detectives asked who told her that, she hesitated. After a long silence, she whispered, "It was him." And by him, she meant Kada's boyfriend. It all came crashing down in that moment. The secret money transfers, the burner phones, the mysterious thank you deposits in Brielle's account, the unexplained calls between the boyfriend and Tone's number days before the murder. It was all connected. The final puzzle piece locked in place. Kada had discovered illegal money being funneled through Trent's clubs, using her name. Tone handled the dirty work. The boyfriend helped hide the tracks, and Brielle became the accidental witness caught in the middle. When Kada threatened to go public, they panicked. Tone was supposed to scare her, not kill her. But when things got out of control, everyone scrambled to cover their tracks, and Kada's body became the price of silence. The debit card was used to create a fake trail, the clothes planted to misdirect police, and the anonymous call that came from Brielle herself, after weeks of guilt, ate her alive. As the truth unraveled, detectives officially ruled the case as murder with conspiracy to obstruct justice. Warrants were issued for Trent's financial team and Kada's boyfriend, once the heartbroken face of the tragedy, was taken into custody. When his mugshot dropped, the internet exploded all over again. The boyfriend did it, trended for 3 straight days. Reporters gathered outside the Scott family home as her mother gave a trembling statement. "I prayed for this day, but it don't bring her back. They all gonna pay one by one. My baby didn't deserve this." And as those words echoed through millions of phones, one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't just a murder story anymore. It was a wake-up call. A reminder that evil doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it's sitting right next to you. In the following days, Brielle's cooperation helped police locate the hidden drive Kada had been fighting to protect, It contained financial ledgers, photos, and documents linking Trent's company to multiple offshore accounts. The scandal made national headlines. Tone, Brielle, and Kada's boyfriend all took plea deals, and by the end of the year, the case officially closed. But to this day, people online still whisper about one thing that never made sense: the missing 2 minutes of that video. The clip from Tone's phone cuts off too suddenly. Some claim there's another voice at the end, a fourth person who was there that night, still unnamed, still free. And if that's true, then maybe the real story behind Kada Scott's death is still out there, waiting to surface. Because in a city where money talks, silence pays, and justice? It's just another game people learn to play. And that's the twisted, heartbreaking end to the Kada Scott case. A story that began with friendship and fame, but ended in betrayal, greed, and silence. From planted evidence to backdoor deals, from loyalty turned lethal to confessions that came too late, this wasn't just a crime. It was a warning. Kada trusted people who smiled in her face, rode in her car, and promised to have her back. But when money got involved, all that loyalty disappeared. Her life became a pawn in someone else's scheme, and the truth took months to claw its way to the surface. But now you have to ask yourself, if Brielle never broke down, would we have ever known the truth? Or would this story still be sitting cold in a file marked unsolved?
Thaw balloon, so what do you think?
Was Brielle truly a victim, or part of the setup all along? Mobile phone with arrow, drop your thoughts below, because this one still doesn't sit right. Every day, new clips, new messages, new theories pop up, and the internet's not done talking. Hit that like if you believe justice doesn't always come easy. Comment what you think still isn't being told. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next twist, it's always closer than you think.